What is going on, everybody? My name is Northy, and today I am going to be doing probably as little editing as I possibly can in this one, so I apologize if there's a few gaps in between when I'm speaking or not, but I am going to be trying my best to get this one out quickly, as it's been a mad rush this week. There's been days where I just haven't been feeling well. There's been days where I've just not been feeling like making videos. I have these moments every now and then that I try to get over, but at the same time, I am going to try my best to pump this one out for you guys, because I try my best to keep a schedule. Obviously, the schedule's been pretty rough so far this week. We've had the jumbo pack opening, and we've had the, we had the preview, the review of round 16 last week. So obviously, round 17 preview, we've already had the Thursday night game. The Thursday night games are starting to annoy me, just because of the schedule I kind of created for myself. It doesn't help out too often having a game already played when you try to start these off, but we are going to make the most of it. Round 17 began last night. Sorry, no, round 16 began last night. I'm looking at the round 17 closes in thing and going, oh, it's round 17, must be. No, it's round 16. I saw the Dogs they kept it close for the first half, but got blown out towards the end of it. Overall, pretty good for the team in terms of the teams we got here. And we'll start off with Star Powers on that note. We'll wait for this to load in, but we got Marcus Bontempelli in here. He was the one who stays in. Pretty much same team as last week. Not making any changes. It got me 40th, and I really think it can get me a top spot. I just need some more 100-point plays, maybe change up the future at some point, but nonetheless, I need Luke Parker to get back to his very best and Karl Amon to do the exact same thing. Please, Karl Amon. I mean, getting 10 marks and 10 tackles will be incredibly difficult, but if you can do it, that's a plus. Yeah, no big changes here, unfortunately, in terms of, better players or matchups that may work. This was a bit of a rush team as well. No one that I know of has been taken out, so I just went, all right, we'll run it back, and a few of the changes throughout the team have been, again, quite rushed, so there's no massive changes here, but we've got Josh Kelly in, Bontempelli, who I think got off to a good start last night. I need Anderson and Parker to step it up this week. Anderson got off to a really slow start against Port Adelaide, so it ruined his overall performance, because the second half wasn't actually that bad. But he needed to definitely improve in that. And Parker just needs to regain his form. He's getting a lot of marks and tackles, but the disposals slowly but surely are hitting below 20 on average over the last few games. So I'm hoping he can pick it back up. But Karl Amon is going to be our guy. Again, I see no reason not to. I'd love to pick up his team star powers at some point to see whether we can, trust him and see whether he can make the big play. But I'm starting to get an idea as to who we need to look out for. Luke Jackson, probably should have chucked him in. Luke Jackson, he once again is covering for Max Gawn, and I'm not sure when he comes back. So we need to make the most of Luke Jackson while we've got him. But we're going to go over to top team. Last week, didn't do too bad. We got rank 58, and we got ourselves a rank 7 for the season in top 10. So I'm not too stressed at the moment, but at the same time, we can get over that 400 mark. Things are good. Wicks we're staying with. Steele coming back. Could have probably picked him up last week. However, it definitely would have been worth it to chuck him in this week, as, again, he's just a mark and tackle machine. And if he's averaging this many points this often, I don't see why I can't chuck him in regularly. Sicily, after a kind of a poor week last week, I'm hoping will bounce back. And Bontempelli, I kept in as well. He had his game and did very well, so we've kept him in there. So that's our top 4. Only change is now, instead of Laird, it's Steele. Could be a bad change, however, Laird definitely isn't a bad pick either way. Last week it only was the 5-point difference, so there's nothing I can really get too mad about. But we're going to head over to top 18, and again, not very many changes. It was a bit of a rush week. Obviously, we know that Tom Stewart is out. He is out, obviously, due to his suspension for 4 games, so he's not going to be in anyone's team for a fair bit. So we've chucked in Jordan Dawson. I was talking about him last review for round 15. Dawson has slowly become a really, really confident player for the team, and so I've chucked him in place of Stewart. We've kept all the other backmen, however. Whitfield I was thinking about, but didn't think anyone else could consistently play as well as Whitfield has been for a bit. Lloyd could have been a big pickup that may have helped us, but again, there's no guarantee he gets 40 and 9. No shot, that's guaranteed, but hopefully we'll end up looking a little better next week. We go Boston, yes, Crisp after a rough week. He has been Mr. Reliable almost all year. He gets 90 plus nearly every week, except for last week for some reason. Just couldn't find it. He finds his way onto the goal scorer sheet pretty much every round, but last week couldn't do it. Although they did beat GWS, he didn't have the greatest impact. But we look at our midfield this week. Changes are Brayshaw is out. Deal has taken his spot. McRae, again, I'm just waiting on him having his 30 disposal game where he gets a ton of marks and tackles. I don't think he did it again last night, but nonetheless, it's a pretty consistent pick for me. Neil did much, much better. Not 67 points like he got last week. No shot. I don't know whether he got to 100, but I know he definitely had a better game. Wicks we're sticking with. I was trying to look for a mismatch for the ruck position to see who could be coming in. And then I forgot. Tim English will probably be coming back in, so I should have changed it to Tim English. However, I had completely forgotten about it by the time that the round had started, so we're going with Wits again. We're hoping he can pull it off, and I have my faith in him. Just hoping he can get his disposals like he did. And if he can get to 5 marks, our aim with Wits is to try and get him to 5 marks. 5 marks would be amazing, but last week he did really well for us on a mismatch. On a mismatch, I will point out. So if he's not on a mismatch this week, and I can't remember who they're playing. I don't know if it's Collingwood or not, but I don't think Collingwood is too much of a mismatch for him, and I won't double check just yet. We'll check in a second to see who Gold Coast are playing, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But another change up we made is Walsh. Walsh is going in. He had his 40 disposals last week against Freo. He really set himself apart, and he's just one to look out for. Him and Cripps both continuously doing well. Another one I've got my eye on, Cogs. Stephen Cornelio. He's really starting to find his form again. It's good to see. His career looked like it was on the brink, and he's kind of pulled it back this year. It's really good to see. But we go to the forward line, and we've only got one main forward target in Tom Hawkins. He's been kind of poor as of recently, so I'm hoping that changes. But you'll see the 2 main changes. Himmelberg is finally put in. I'm not falling for it. I'm making sure. I didn't even check the lineup for him. I just know Himmelberg's going in, because if they put him in the back line, he's getting those marks and disposals, man. He's being impactful, and so I'm hoping that we get more of that this week. Luke Jackson is also the other change. We took out Mackay, because Mackay, as good as he can be, we've realised that, you know, he's kind of a one or two option in the forward line. He's not the main option who's so dominant, he can kick bags of goals every night. Realistically, it's when he gets his chances, he almost always delivers. But not every game he gets his chances. So hopefully with the switch up to Luke Jackson, we'll be able to make the most of it. This time you can see he kicked a goal, 4 marks, 21 disposals, but the hit-outs would have put him over his average, and I think it's a really, really good pickup for the forward line at this very moment. But the ones that stay in, Heaney, although he didn't have his greatest game, he does enough every single game he plays to, you know, really play his parts. I'm hoping that can include a lot more disposals coming up. Dylan Moore had a really good one as well. 88 points is well above his average, I believe, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. Bond stayed in, obviously. It's looking like an okay lineup. I'm not too, like, crazy on it. I think our aim is to get over 1,500. Again, prize cards are hard to get in these top 10 game modes. Because realistically, you have to be the best of the best. You can't make any mistakes if you want to get a prize card in this. You get a bit more leniency with star powers, because star powers, obviously you have to pick the right ones, but there are less cards to choose from. And there's also double points. A lot easier of a shot if you have a really good player in double points. A lot easier of a chance of getting a prize card. So I've kind of realised that over this season, but I'm hoping things look a little better for us in terms of top 10 this coming week. But I'm going to quickly search up the AFL website and quickly try and get us onto our tips for the week. Obviously we can't tip last night, but I think I had Brisbane at the Gabba. It's a pretty easy tip. I'm going to quickly go over to matches, and in matches we will find, obviously, this game already finished. I'm going to Carlton versus St Kilda tonight. This will be fun. I think I'm going tonight as a St Kilda fan, so I'm going to tip St Kilda. I wouldn't lie if I was to say I'm kind of thinking Carlton's going to take it. They've looked really good as of late. It's going to be good to watch them live. That's going to be really, really fun. But we've got Essendon versus Sydney tomorrow at 1:45. Sydney should take it, but Sydney at the moment losing to Port Adelaide, but then smacking St Kilda. I'm not sure what that says about them, but I think it means they're probably a lot better than Essendon, I'd imagine. Melbourne will take it over Adelaide. We'll see how Adelaide fares up against them. It is at Adelaide Oval, so at least they have home crowd advantage, but Melbourne is Melbourne. and their win against Brisbane really showed everyone just how dominant they still are. I don't need to say much about this. It is pretty much North Melbourne $1. I'd imagine that, sorry, not $1. Geelong will be $1. North will probably be, if they somehow win, you'll get $200 for every dollar you spend. It's that bad. But Suns are playing Collingwood. I was correct about that. Not sure where it's going to go. It is at Metricon. I'm going to put my money on the Suns. My hope is that the Suns do make it to the finals this year. And if they can beat Collingwood, that'll be a huge step in their finals push. A really, really big step. Richmond versus West Coast. Unless West Coast pulls out something crazy, Richmond will be taking this. However, West Coast do have a majority of their players back. Nick Nat's going to come back. It looks like they're not going to be bottom of the ladder, but they may get a nice pick. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. GWS vs Hawthorn could actually be quite good. I'm thinking the young guns like Mitch Lewis and Dylan Moore could really go off in this one. Because Giants, although Himmelberg has started to become a lot more of an impact in that Giants back line, they still allow a lot of points, man. A lot of points in the modern age. So it really will become a shootout. I think Giants will take this, but Hawthorn will definitely put up a fight, especially their young gun forward line. And then Freo versus Port, I am going to go with Fremantle. However, Port, after their shaky start, they're definitely in the running to really rip their season apart and do amazing stuff in these following weeks. So Port, after their disastrous start, seem to, keep their hopes alive every single week in and out. It's kind of crazy, but hopefully we'll get a good match there. But nonetheless, that is it for the team coach preview for round 16. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, apologies for the lack of editing and how messy it may seem, but hopefully things will turn out alright. I'll try and do as much video work as I can in the weekend. Obviously the Fall Guys streams, a lot of you guys have been talking to me about it. You guys are all very keen for it and I'm very aware of it, so it will be happening both the Saturday and the Sunday. Saturday we're just going to have a muck around one in the evening because I do have stuff to do on the weekend. I won't be able to do it all day, but Sunday we should be starting around 6 o'clock for competitive stuff, and I have a new format for it too, so that's a little bit of Fall Guys news for you guys, as you've been really enjoying them. So be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are trying our best to ramp up over 1,000. We've already gotten there, but I want to see how quickly we can explode from 1,000 now and see how much more juice we've got left in the tank for this year, because it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how many people are interested in the team coach and select content throughout the rest of the year. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.